There is a feeling in this city quite like nowhere else I've been before. Istanbul is a unique experience. For instance, the Bosphorus, with the city on either side, creating a bridge between Europe and Asia, west and east, and all around ancient versus modern, with minarets on mosques symbolizing the relationship between secular and sacred. These are issues I must explore.
Istambul, lado europeu, mais familiar aos turistas e ponto de partida de Richard Quest hoje. Milhões de pessoas vão até lá para conhecer a história da cidade. Ao longo de milhares de anos, ela viu a ascensão e queda de impérios. Culturas migrantes da Europa Oriental, do norte da África e Oriente Médio se misturaram. É impossível não se impressionar com o que foi criado ali. Quest nunca visitou o Museu Arqueológico de Istambul. Foi o local solicitado por Azra Cohen. Azra é uma psicóloga que virou escritora e, aliás, vendeu milhões de livros. Uma psicóloga é a pessoa ideal para ajudar Richard Quest a desvendar o caráter de Istambul. Um assunto para Freud.
If Istanbul were a patient on your sofa,
Yeah,
what would you have discovered about Istanbul as a client?
it's always pregnant. Yeah, this was I would tell her like, okay, you know, you're always pregnant. Too much hormone, too much sex, too much going on here. Yeah, it's like biological, psychological, and sociological thing going on.
That's the city?
Yeah.
Giving birth to what?
There is like a tornado going on here, like cultural tornado going on here, I think. And yeah, being in the middle of two continents, I think this is a necessity, you know, like for the combining all the cultures and all the people's needs.
But does it give it an identity of its own? Or does it end up as a confusion?
No, 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 it has an own identity. In my first book, you know, I wrote a sentence about this city. And I was explaining how I feel about it. Would you like to read it?
Go on.
I want you to read it with your voice.
The whole thing?
Yeah, it will be so short. It's like tiny. Trust me, go for it.
As she headed homewards through familiar territory, she saw the city she loved anew. The city where everyone found the strength to be themselves, or the city that gave people the strength to be themselves. This was a city where models stepping out of a fancy restaurant in $800 high-heeled shoes flattered the valets so they could get their cars sooner. A city where power balances shifted suddenly, yet something always remained unchanged. That is, everyone was equal in their shortcomings. This city was like a womb that nourished everything and allowed it to be reborn, gave villagers the courage to become artists, virgin to become women, gays to become transsexuals, the starving to get rich, to live with their essence without hiding, though it allowed them to hide from themselves if they wanted. Is that Istanbul?
Yes. This is her.
Not a him?
Of course not.
Do you like it?
I like it here, but sometimes I find it so exhausting, sometimes. And this is why I need to go see other places on Earth. And, but there's an energy here, and it's like a little bit boiling time to time. And it helps my creativity, I think.
A metáfora de uma grávida cheia de hormônios de Azra garantiu que Quest nunca mais veja a cidade da mesma forma. E é com essas ideias em mente que ele sai para explorar o grande bazar. Ele está ali para conhecer o escritor e fundador do Culinary Backstreets, Ansel Mullins. O ponto de encontro é o restaurante Région. Fica em algum lugar. O truque é seguir o garçom e o cheiro de kebab. Há mais de 30 anos, o Rejon serve uma comida cheia de sabor.
Where and how did this love of being in Turkey, of the food of Turkey, where did it come from?
I first came to Turkey 16, 17 years ago and was immediately enamored with this place. And it was dazzling and confusing, and I didn't know how to approach it, but I fell in love with it immediately. And by studying it, I could learn a lot about the city and eventually come to the point where I could explain it myself.
We need maybe some tea.
That'd be a great
You
idea.
want some tea? Oh, thank you.
Teşekkürler.
Sheriff.
But we wouldn't cheers tea, but let's do it anyway.
Well, we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Com Ansel, Quest está prestes a descobrir que em Istambul, um kebab é mais que só um kebab. Amanhece e Quest sai novamente com Ansel Mullins, agora em busca do kebab perfeito.
Where have you brought me and why?
Okay, we are in the Kadınlar Pazarı in Fatih, Istanbul. And I wanted you to see this little place, which is a transplant of southeastern Turkey, where you find all of the same products as you would in the city of Siirt. The lambs that they make here are prepared in a very specific way, down in the pit, the Buryani-style kebab.
Os rituais para preparar o burian perfeito começam pouco depois das 5 horas da manhã no restaurante Şeref Burian. Levan é a 5ª geração da família Avdi a fazer comida de Siirt, uma cidade próxima à fronteira com a Síria. O nome de seu pai, Şeref, está na fachada do restaurante, mas é o espírito do avô, Hassan, o primeiro a migrar para Istambul, que supervisiona tudo.
What is unique about the way in which the lamb is prepared from say other parts of?
Okay, buryanla ilgili yani özellikle Siirt'ten buryan kebabı ne?
Fark ediyor. Şimdi bizim orada Siirt'te yetişen
Oh, this is maybe the secret. Go on. Okay, so the ribs are going to go in the pot.
Right.
And the pot's going to go on top of the fire. And over that is going to hang the fillets. All of the fat and anything that comes off of the fillets, which is hanging above it, yeah, is going to go into the pot. So this is prized.
O toque final é muito importante para ser deixado a cargo da geração mais nova. Şeref se certifica de que tudo seja feito exatamente como sempre foi.
Very good.
Regionality is a really important subject. The migration of people from all over Turkey to Istanbul for economic reasons or to escape dangerous places in the country in previous decades. People ended up in Istanbul. And I think one of the great signifiers of culture or homeland or things that you miss shows up on the plate in the form of a kebab or a salad or whatever.
What's the nature of this city?
The nature, chaos? I don't know. It's a miracle city. There's an incredible chaotic ballet that takes place here every day, with accompanied by the orchestra of car horns, and but it works. Is this the best biryani kebab you've ever had?
Well, I don't know if I've ever had one before, because I've never been known by the name of them. But if it's the best of what it is, yes. That's it. Finished.
Atravessar o Bósforo de balsa, da Europa à Ásia, faz parte da rotina diária por lá. Por ano, milhões de pessoas fazem essa viagem e o trajeto é uma atração à parte.
There is something really satisfying about taking part in this tradition when you're crossing continents, feeding the birds. Come on, yes!
A primeira parada é o mercado Kadikoy, com o influente chefe Musa da Deviren. A missão dele é preservar a gastronomia turca e enaltecê-la, além de, nessa visita, educar o paladar de Quest com os produtos locais. A assistente dele, Çağla, ajuda com a tradução.
What's the first place to start? Balık.
We can show the fish markets.
Fish.
This is called tulum. It's a cheese inside of these goats.
You taste?
Yeah.
You taste?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Apparently we're going for some cheese. I thought we were buying fish.
Tea?
No. The hospitality is extraordinary. Wherever I go, within minutes of me arriving, somebody is offering me tea or food or something.
It's the hospitality that we have in our culture.
O restaurante de Musa, Tia Sofrasi, representa mais que um lugar para comer. Para ele, é um lugar para conhecer a cultura.
What is it that makes you and your belief in culinary different from everybody else?
Bunun nedeni geleneklerimizi...
People who live in the cities don't know their traditions. In fact, even the people who live in the countryside don't know their traditions. But the urbanites are the worst in that regard. They seem to have completely forgotten about their culinary past. This is why I'm doing my best to promote and showcase it.
Musa criou um instituto de culinária turca para ensinar a uma nova geração tudo o que ele aprendeu.
We need to protect the values of our land and culture. These things form the backbone of past civilizations. This applies not just to Turkey, but to England and any other country in Europe or Africa. All nations must preserve their heritage. Otherwise, the traces of mankind will disappear from the planet.
Quest está se sentindo como um sultão ali. Recusar seria indelicado. A mensagem é óbvia. A comida turca é muito mais que um doner kebab depois de uma noite de bebedeira.
This is very good.
Qualquer visita a Istambul não estaria completa sem uma ida a um hamam. E a equipe do Çağalolu é muito boa no que faz. Dos romanos aos bizantinos, passando pelos turcos, os cidadãos se encontravam ali para discutir assuntos de Estado ou simplesmente para fofocar. A limpeza é refletida no seu status e devoção.
That feels very peculiar, sort of tingling.
Os hamams de hoje são meramente um prazer luxuoso.
Hammam, chai, Turkish delight and fresh fruits. All part of an experience they've been doing here for more than 300 years. But the place doesn't feel like a museum, far from it. There's a living energy here. It feels powerful, enthusiastic, invigorating even. A bit like the city itself.
Quest continua a se aprumar, recebendo o serviço completo nesta barbearia.
Good morning. How are you?
Ele está acompanhado de Ayhan Sitimolo, colega de viagem, músico e bom vivant. Ele é bem conhecido na Turquia.
Mr. Quest, good. That's Turkey are doing it.
Quest decide dar um voto de confiança ao barbeiro Saadettin, nada menos que um dos últimos dandies turcos.
You're beautifully attired and groomed today. What is it about the Turkish history and culture that going to a barber in such a fashion that still is significant here?
Yes, but don't forget the fact that we have been doing this since the Ottoman Empire times. The Turkish men dressed, while the Western world men dressed in black and sort of tight things. Turkish men dressed with silk, with colors, yellows and scarlets and blues and greens, with silk, and like what you men wouldn't ever dare to put on. talking about history now. That is, we are the followers of that culture, if I may say.
So what happened?
Well, what happened? The modern world enslaved us. I mean, the hectic lifestyle. You've seen the traffic in this town. I mean, would you have time to go to a barber? Because if you're driving 2 hours to get it took you what? To come in like 1 hour or something? Mm-hmm. Hey, that's shaving your time, not your face.
Are we ready to be lathered up?
Always. Warm water and Turkish olive oil soap. Lathering all up.
This is terrifying. I've only ever had a proper shave once. I mean, a shave with a cutthroat razor and a barber. It left my skin sensitive because we're not used to that. You're laughing!
Agora, para aqueles pelos teimosos,
No, don't be scared, Richard. Something else coming here. Ow!
há uma antiga crença turca segundo a qual o cabelo está vivo. Portanto, queimar é mais piedoso que cortar.
You asked for this.
I can smell the singeing of it.
E quando Quest acha que acabou, um momento que mostra que ele está envolvido em algo além de um corte e uma barba feita. Ir a hamams e barbear-se com navalha faz parte da história de Istambul. Já essas pessoas estão fazendo fila para uma coisa bem século XXI. Nusret Göçe é um açougueiro que conquistou a internet. Ele tem pompa, tempera como ninguém e faz arte com carne. Ele entretém 46 milhões de seguidores no Instagram e o número continua subindo. A fama dele transformou esse restaurante de Istambul em uma rede lendária de nível internacional. O Salt Bay é a delícia turca da atualidade.
Where did it all begin?
1983 Erzurum doğumluyum.
I was born in Erzurum in 1983. From there, we moved to Istanbul. But due to our financial situation, I could only go to school for 5 years. Out of need, I started my apprenticeship as a butcher's assistant. I worked there for the next 15 years. After that, I went to Argentina to get some overseas experience. Of course, it was not easy. I had to borrow money. Plus, I did not know English or Spanish. For the first 3 months, I worked at various steakhouses and farms.
So, you are the original from nothing to everything. What's your message to the person who wants to know how to make it?
In order to succeed, you must work, work, and work.
E ele sabe como trabalhar esse público. Inevitavelmente, Quest sela esse encontro com uma selfie.
Now this is an Instagram moment.
This is my picture.
I've been to Istanbul many times and until now never really had a strong feeling about the place one way or the other. This visit has changed all of that. And now I've been trying to think of a word that best describes the Istanbul experience. And it came to me through the people we've met. The word that defines this place, as far as I can see, is of course hospitable. Which is why you must make Istanbul one of the places to visit in a world of wonder. Helsinki in the middle of the winter, and it's not immediately clear why this is one of the happiest places in the world. Think about it. When it snows, the snow often falls like shards of ice, and it'll stay on the ground until spring. There's a biting wind that'll freeze off your ears, and when all's said and done, you've only got a few hours of daylight anyway. But that doesn't get to the Finns, and we need to understand why.
Uma caminhada pelo Parque Nacional de Nuuksio nos ajuda a criar coragem, já que neste paraíso congelado há neve em uma escala industrial e uma verdadeira beleza nórdica a ser descoberta. A comediante Krissi Salminen é quem acompanha Richard Quest.
That's me.
Andar com sapatos para neve parece fácil.
It's 10 more kilometers.
Mas não é bem assim para esse morador da cidade.
Should I help you?
I can't get up.
I can't go back. We should stay here. Should I ring someone?
I've just discovered that you can't actually get up with the snowshoes on.
If you need a new host, I'm interested.
Mika, o guarda florestal, ao resgate.
Okay.
This is much harder than it looks. What does it make the Finnish people like, this sort of climate?
They're quiet, I would say. You know, if you go visit some relatives, we can like sit on a table and nobody says anything. And it's not weird.
So it's not sort of, what did you do today? No, pass me this. Oh, no. Did you see that on the television?
In Finland, we don't have that small talk. Like if somebody asks you, how are you? It doesn't mean anything like when you go abroad. We talk deeply or we just don't talk.
Enfim, a caminhada de Quest termina e ele está ansioso para vivenciar a arte da conversa finlandesa, que, ao contrário do que pode parecer, envolve bastante silêncio.
How has the comedy scene evolved since you started?
But when I started, I didn't know what to do. And I was like 24, because stand-up was really a new thing in Finland. And my brother was saying, like, aren't all the comedians, they are talking about like how fat they are or how miserable they are or some, you know, like negative things. And then I was saying to my brother, well, but I'm perfect. So, and then my brother said, well, talk about that. It's hot, don't eat it yet. Just listen to me, I'm talking about myself. So, I think I do the comedy thing because I don't like the darkness and the being miserable. Mm-hmm. So I try to be on the light, you know, on the funny side of the life. I can be serious, but I don't want to stay in the serious part, like, you know, all the time, because I think life has to be funny. And it's easier. Everything is easier here if you make fun of it a bit.
That's really true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And practice being Finnish.
Yeah?
Silence.
Yeah, don't talk at me.
Mais fácil falar do que fazer. Quest parece estar morrendo de vontade de preencher o silêncio finlandês com um bate-papo banal.
My sausage is nearly cooked.
Com a neve, geralmente vem o gelo. E claro, num país com 1/3 de seu território no Círculo Polar Ártico, a patinação no gelo é mais que um hobby, é um estilo de vida.
I cannot come to Helsinki without doing something of which I'm determined to get right once and for all. I have never managed to skate. Get me on the ice, sir, please. Oi! Whoa! No! I'll do that one day.
Depois de cambalear pela pista de patinação, agora é hora de deixar os profissionais trabalharem. O que o futebol é para o Brasil, o hóquei no gelo é para a Finlândia. Esta noite, a HIFK enfrenta seu rival da liga, o Saipa. Antes que o primeiro disco seja lançado, conheça Tobias, executivo do HIFK. Ele é ex-jogador e filho de lendas do hóquei.
Many cities have ice hockey, many countries have ice hockey. How important would you say it is to Finland?
I'd say it's very important for a country of 5 million people, and we need something that we can feel pride from. And we've done really well internationally with ice hockey, and it brings people together. It creates a lot of emotion.
You don't think of emotion much when you think about the Finns, do you?
Yeah, we need something where we can actually put it out.
Hard game.
It is, but it's a lot of fun. It brings out a lot of adrenaline in the body, but when you shoot that winning goal on the last minute, you get a crowd of 8,000 on their feet cheering the team's name. That's something special, and you can only get it from here.
I have no idea what's going on, but it's a very good watch.
Canções entusiasmadas, por fim, são recompensadas com a vitória. Os fãs locais de hóquei vão para casa felizes. Enquanto isso, do outro lado da cidade, um tipo bem diferente de grito rebelde está acontecendo. É manhã de ensaios no Centro Musical de Helsinki. O maestro Osmo Venska está a postos. A Orquestra Filarmônica de Helsinki está levando adiante o legado do compositor Jan Sibelius, cuja música ajudou uma Finlândia recém-independente a se destacar. Mas hoje em dia, a exportação musical da Finlândia se baseia mais no rock and roll. Isso porque ela se tornou a capital mundial do heavy metal. Para entender como e por quê, Quest foi convidado para ir à casa de Lauri Poura, o bisneto de Sibelius. Ele é a calmaria antes da tempestade.
Was Sibelius the heavy metal of his time?
No. I would say Richard Wagner was, and Mahler was. I think Sibelius is very sensitive, and it comes from the forests, and it's quite sensitive. Because I mean, heavy metal is it's about excess. It's about doing something a little bit more. Okay, I mean that's how it started. People were playing, let's say, like Black Sabbath. So originally they wanted to play Beatles, but they wanted to play harder and louder. Of course, that's my reference to Wagner and Mahler.
This phenomenon of metal in Helsinki, it's created both an export out in terms of the music and an import in terms of the people who come to see it.
About 15 years ago or so, it really sort of exploded. First there was just few bands, like Amorphis and Stratovarius, the band those were like the first, they were like late 90s. And then around the new millennia, like many bands went around, and suddenly for the first time there were like Finnish rock stars. And then came these fans who were not fans of a certain band, but then they were fans of the Finnish scene.
Quest está prestes a mergulhar de cabeça em uma experiência metal. Protetores de ouvido a postos.
Where are we going tonight?
So we're going to a festival called Helsinki Must Be Destroyed, which is an indoor festival.
Just say that again.
Helsinki must be destroyed.
Helsinki must be destroyed.
Yes, metal festival. It takes 2 days and it's in a place called Elmonbaari at Nosturi.
The metal that we will be hearing tonight, it's what genre?
It's a lot of different genres. So there's a bit of the lighter ones and then there's more of the aggressive type also. I get a lot of energy from the music. Yeah, and it's really interesting also that when you listen to it, then your heart rate usually like it gets synchronized along with the beat of the music, and also your breathing, so that you get the full experience. So when we go there, you have to go into the mosh pit and start jumping and moshing your head about.
So what is all that about? Headbanging?
I would say, well, it's our form of dance, so to say. Like instead of dance, we have the moshing and then putting your fists in the air or showing the horns, so to say. And it's a way of like, yeah, this was invented by Ronnie James Dio back in the day. But it's a way of like experience the music to its full, because you get your body into it and then your heart rate starts synchronizing.
A caminho, Quest começa a se perguntar onde é que foi se meter. Turbo Negro, da Noruega, é a atração principal. E quem vai abrir o show é uma banda finlandesa.
Describe the band we're about to see.
Our band is called Nuclear Omnicide, and we're all about making people uncomfortable.
Ida, what was that?
That was thrash metal.
Thrash metal?
Thrash metal, yes.
What about it?
Well, usually the bass drum is really fast and then the guitars are playing really fast. They call it shredding, when you play one pitch several times.
How could you hear anything? It was so loud.
I think that the melodies were great. And they had so much energy. Yep, so much energy.
I had to grow my hair a bit before I could do it.
But it's like a full body workout for them.
How much of this is real Helsinki?
Well, I would say that it's quite typical for like you can see these live shows almost every weekend.
How do you feel?
I feel recharged after that. Are you up for some more?
More?
Yeah, absolutely.
É uma corrida leve com o ex-primeiro-ministro da Finlândia, Alexander Stubb, e seus amigos, todos homens hábeis. Eles se chamam de garotos lycra. Alex é um grande defensor de hábitos de vida saudáveis, mas isto parece brutal.
And they do this for fun. It's freezing. What's wrong with you all? I'm a broken man.
Someone carry him in.
Quest está prestes a descobrir o verdadeiro significado de sauna em Oulu. O Mar Báltico chama. A primeira tentativa de Quest de suportar essas temperaturas congelantes acaba com uma lamúria.
That was good.
Why do Finns like their saunas so much?
It's very relaxing and it's good for your health.
Gets the blood flowing. It's a tradition as well. We've been doing it for centuries and we feel very much it's sauna. That's a Finnish invention, actually a Finnish word, the only Finnish international word that we have.
Clothes or naked?
Naked. I mean, all public saunas, it says no swimming shorts.
But they're not mixed.
Yeah.
Then they are,
it's true.
Female and male are separate.
There's actually, in Finland, nothing sexual about a sauna. It's more like a family ritual type of a thing. I know that some people think that this is all about sex, but it's not. Nudity doesn't equal sex. And that's the thing.
You'll agree that is a uniquely Nordic/Scandinavian view. Sort of a typical Anglo-Saxon view is, oh!
Yeah, but
it's kind of sauna nudity is a different thing from nudity somewhere else.
Yeah.
For us even. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's not bedroom nudity, it's a different type of...
Okay, I know, Richard, you probably wouldn't do this, but can you imagine a child, a sister, a father, mother, and a grandfather and grandmother in the sauna at the same time?
No. No, I can't.
In Finland it happens.
Yeah.
Naked, nude.
Yes. Nude.
No, I just it's even this talking about it has me cringing and toe-curling.
Well, okay, but I think I would say that it's more mainstream if it's like the family.
Yeah.
I've had one go at the ice bath, and I'll admit it, I was a total wimp and couldn't even last more than 20 seconds. So tell me, what is a respectable length of time to stay in?
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's count.
30 seconds.
You can do it.
30 seconds.
Agora, teste de quanto vapor e calor Quest aguenta.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah. Now just sit down and relax.
Oh, come on, that's not funny. That is not funny. No! I'm going to be joking. You have got to be... Where is your sisu?
Quest ainda não sabe bem o que é sisu, mas tem certeza de que ele tem.
35, 36, 37. How do you learn to live like this for months on end?
Well, some of us hibernate, others do sports, and then I think a lot of children are made over the winter times, and a lot of drinking as well. Oh, it's a combo. I think you have to be outdoors a lot. That makes you survive.
So this concept of sisu.
Yeah, it's part of our national psyche and history. You know, winter war and being part of Sweden and being part of Russia and then getting our independence 101 years ago. We did it in these conditions and with grit, and then came Nokia and we're all smiling, kind of thought. That's CISO for you.
Having been part of Sweden for a long time,
yeah,
not so long part of Russia,
no,
but living on the border with Russia, just next door, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, but our identity is very Western. You know, we're liberal, we're democratic, we're globalists. We're not Slavic in the way in which the Russians are, and we've always wanted to see ourselves apart and separate from Russia.
What would you say is the psyche as regards the Swedes?
It used to be a bit of a complex, big brother, younger brother, but then at some stage, I think in 2007, we surpassed them in GDP per capita, and that's when we went, yes! But the big defining moment was actually winning the World Championship in ice hockey in Sweden in 1995. We still smile when we hear that moment. 4-1, great victory.
You promised you were going to drag me into ice swimming.
Yeah.
You're happy with the result?
I am, and I'm actually very proud of you, Richard. You know, for a Brit to be in an ice bath for 30 seconds, it could even be the British record. We're not sure about this. Impressive.
I think it was a fast 30 seconds. I come from Britain, where we're always complaining about the weather. Here in Helsinki, it's far more extreme, but they just get on with it, with fortitude. They even have a word for it, sisu. Grim, determination, perseverance. It's all that and more, above and beyond. And you'll want to come and experience Helsinki and sisu for yourself and make it part of your world of wonder.